Hey there, gorgeous. Welcome to the Fabulous Health Show, where we eat plants and we be fabulous. I'm your host, Terry Chrisman, and I'm a whole foods plant-based nutritionist. And this podcast helps you obtain optimal health so that you can live a long, happy life and age with vitality. So if you're watching on YouTube, I do apologize for the side camera, because even though I did tell YouTube to put my front camera on, it's decided to go to the side camera. So we'll deal with that anyway. So this is my very, very first show, and I am going to go live every single day during the month of October 2021. So if you listen to this later, then you've got a whole stream, 31 episodes to listen to. And I'm going to do it at 10 a.m. US Central Time. So that if you can join me live, that would be absolutely fantastic. The podcast is going to be really short and really sweet. Just a little bit of information and a tip for the day. So you should be in and out in hopefully about 10 minutes. This podcast might be a little bit longer because I'm going to introduce myself and tell you what Fabulous Health is all about. So please, if you like what you hear, please subscribe underneath if you're watching YouTube, and subscribe to my Facebook page or follow my Facebook page, like it. It's called Fabulous Health TLC. And even though TLC stands for Tender Loving Care, they're also my initials. So that's why it's called Fabulous Health TLC. But I'll be going live, certainly today, on my public Facebook page, Terry Chrisman. And as I get more in tune with the technology, I'll let you know if I move that to the Fabulous Health page. But either way, there's those two places to find it. And as soon as this one's finished, I'm going to load it to Apple Podcasts and other places where you can listen to your podcast. So if you can't watch it live and you don't want to watch the video, you can absolutely listen to the podcast. So in today's episode, I'm going to let you know who I am and what is Fabulous Health? Why am I bringing you this podcast? So I'm a whole foods plant-based nutritionist. As you can hear in my voice, I was born in Australia, raised in Melbourne, and I have lived all over the world. I've lived in London, I've lived in Hong Kong, I've lived in the Middle East, I've lived in Australia, obviously, and now I am based in Dallas, Texas in the USA, and also Incline Village, Nevada in the USA. So if you want to get in touch with me, it doesn't really matter because the internet is so fantastic that you can just send me an email or send me a message on Facebook and write me a comment on YouTube, and I'll be able to get in touch with you very, very easily. I love the fact that the internet brings us all together. So a little bit about me. I came from a family on my dad's side. Everybody was obese. His sisters were really, really big, and they were always on diets. My dad too was quite fat. I'm going to say the word fat, because you got to just call it as it is. It was fat. My dad was fat, and he had a lot of trouble trying to maintain his weight, and he really didn't do a very good job of it. And in fact, when he was very, very young, in fact, a lot younger than I am now, he died of a sudden heart attack. And that was devastating to my family, of course, as you can imagine. And I vowed and declared that I would not let that happen to me. And so I've spent my life trying to keep myself away from being obese. I was so fat as a kid, I was put on a diet when I was 4 years old. But the other thing that I've been doing for the last 20 years is I have been trying to help other people, working out ways, how can I help other people from suffering the same fate that I did with my dad? And, maybe themselves, maybe they've been struggling, maybe you've been struggling with your weight and you just don't know how to keep it under control. So went to university. First of all, I was really into fitness. So I got a bachelor in sport and exercise science. And then I became a personal trainer because I thought that exercise was the way to a slim physique. And it is, but really, guess what? It's the food. It's the food, and it's a lot of other things that can make you the person that you are. We are all a reflection of our past actions. So complaining about eating a cupcake today really doesn't justify why you may have 20 extra pounds on your body. It's the cupcakes that you ate over the last 5 years that are to blame, if you like, for whatever you've done, or it's those fantastic muscles and those really healthy lungs that you've got because you've been walking every day for the past 5 years, or you've been exercising and you've been eating healthily. So we're not going to put blame on anything. It's just that we're going to recognize that we are a reflection of our past lives or our past actions. And so we're going to talk about ways in this podcast to change your actions so that in the future you are a healthy reflection of today's actions. How does that sound? Does that sound good? So if it sounds good, put a comment. I'd really like to hear your voice, and I'd really like to know what you think of this podcast. I am doing this by myself. I can see at the moment YouTube comments, and if I click in my computer, I might be able to see the Facebook comments as well. So I might do that often, occasionally, so that I can answer your comments and questions and have a look at them. And if I don't answer them in the live, I'll always answer them in the next day. So I'm on every single day, so you can check me out then. So first of all, what is this podcast going to be about? I am going to give you tips and tricks and action steps that you can take, really simple little things on a daily basis, and turn them into habits that will make lasting change in your life. So we're going to look at the pillars of fabulous health as I see them. I mean, other people have got ideas about what health is, but these are the pillars of health as I see them. And I hope that they resonate with you too. So the first one is nutrition. Yeah. People say diet and exercise, which is more important. I'm going to tell you, you cannot out-exercise a bad diet. Oh, there's a tip already, and that wasn't meant to be there. You can't out-exercise a bad diet. So good nutrition is absolutely paramount. So my whole philosophy is eat more plants. Now, don't be scared. This is not going to be freaky. I'm not going to say live on kale every single day. I have tips and tricks for you no matter where you are in your journey, whether you're a fast food junkie who's never eaten a piece of broccoli, or whether you're a whole food, raw, vegan. I can help anybody in between. So eating more plants than you did yesterday is going to be beneficial to your health. And I'll explain to you throughout these podcasts why that is more beneficial to your health. And the other thing that I believe in is exercise. Now, it doesn't have to be going to the gym for 2 hours a day lifting heavy weights, although that is really good, although 2 hours is probably too much. Moving your body, moving your arms and legs, getting your lungs moving, your blood pumping, your lungs breathing in lots of lovely air. We'll discuss different ways that you can exercise, but I'm basically talking about getting off your butt. I'm in a chair right now, got to get out of that chair and move your body. The other thing that I believe is paramount to fabulous health is good sleep patterns. So that's another thing we'll be covering. And what about self-love? If you're constantly berating yourself in the mirror and you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, or you don't like the way you look, or you berate yourself all the time, that's not beneficial to you. So we're going to be talking about self-love. And that brings me on to my favorite topic, which is your attitude. Your attitude is so very, very important. And I have a fantastic quote that I absolutely love. It's attributed to Henry Ford. And he said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are always right. So what that means is, if you say, oh, I can't do that, guess what? You're not going to do it. But if you think about something really, really hard, like let's say kale for breakfast. I wouldn't eat just boring old kale for breakfast, but it's part of my breakfast. You think, oh, I don't really want to eat kale. No, I'm never going to do it. Well, you're never going to do it. But if you think, how can I incorporate kale into my breakfast? Could I put it in a smoothie? Could I cook it down and mix it up with other things so I don't taste it so much? If you think, how can I do something rather than I can't do something, then you're more likely to succeed. So that's one of my very, very favorite sayings, and it really gets your mind in a positive frame of mind. And the other thing that we need to look out for fabulous health is your emotional well-being and the way that you handle stress. Stress is highly inflammatory. Inflammation is the root of all disease. I'm getting into further podcasts by saying these things, but it'll just give you a little tip as to why I think like this. You gotta get the stress down. You gotta mellow out and then lots of things will go better for you in the future. I'm going to be discussing all those things. So that's nutrition, exercise, sleep, self-love, your attitude, and your emotional well-being. So we're already up to 10 minutes. I told you this whole thing was only going to be 10 minutes, but I'm running over time. So I'm going to make it really, really quick. So my tip of the day for episode 1 of the Fabulous Health Show is hydration. You've probably heard this from a million people. Drink more water. Oh, boring, boring. Well, let me tell you why you want to drink more water. You want to drink more water because your body's made up of water. About 2/3 of your body is water. It's the main component of your blood. And so your blood supplies nutrients to all the tissues, your muscles, your organs, all the tissues in your body. And if you have blood that's viscous and thick and sluggish, it's not going to be able to supply those nutrients to your body as effectively as if it was flowing through your veins and your arteries. So much easier. It also lubricates your joints. So when you want to walk up those stairs or you want to squat those dumbbells, you need to have the synovial fluid in your joints so that your joints are lubricated and you don't get joint injuries and injuries to your body. Your water in your body regulates your body temperature. We sweat, it cools us down. The other thing that water does is it facilitates fantastic digestion. So if you suffer from constipation, then you need to drink more water, because when your food travels through your digestive system, when it's in your large intestine, the water is absorbed from that waste product to form your stool. And if you don't have enough water in your colon, then you're going to get hard impacted stools, and that's just going to be really, really uncomfortable. So water's really good for that. It's also really good for flushing out toxins. It's really good for cleansing your liver and putting less stress on your kidneys. It's great for helping dissolve the minerals that you eat so that they are more bioavailable. And I'm going to be discussing in the following podcasts what all these words mean, bioavailable and things like that. So it means that you can utilize those nutrients much more effectively in your body. So how much water do you need? I know you've heard, let's drink 8 hours a day. Let's drink 8 glasses of water a day. Well, you know what? I never drink 8 glasses of water a day. You know why? Because I would be up and down every 5 minutes getting a glass of water. Instead, what I do is I have a huge big glass of water as soon as I wake up, before I do anything else, before any hot drinks, before any food, before anything, one large glass of water. I also have a large glass of water before every meal, and I also have a glass of water at the meal. So I finish the glass of water before the meal, and then I have another one at the meal. I may or may not drink the whole glass. And then I have a water bottle on my desk that I sip throughout the day. Now, yes, you're going to go up and down to the toilet a few times. Well, that's great. It means your body is working optimally and you're flushing out all the toxins and your kidneys are working, and it's all fantastic because you're giving it water and hydration. Now, remember, water is also in the things you eat. So if you eat a lot of fresh fruits, leafy greens, and water vegetables like tomatoes, capsicums and cucumbers, fruits like watermelon and even apples, they're really, really high in water. So remember, you're getting water in the food that you eat as well. So I hope that tip was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed the very, very first episode of the Fabulous Health Show. Remember, I'm going to be on every single day during October 2021 from 10 a.m. on the dot, Central Time USA. Look up on the internet what time that is in your time zone. Hopefully you can join me live. I'd be happy to read your comments, and be really sure to tell your friends and let them know that this is on so that they can join. And please subscribe. I've got a subscribe button underneath this YouTube video, and you can also like my Facebook page, which is Fabulous Health TLC. Feel free to leave me lots of comments, and I'll see you tomorrow. You have a fabulous day.